Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa podcast. If you're new to our channel, subscribe, drop this video a like and get involved in the comment section down below. So it is match day today / tomorrow. So I'm really excited to be doing our watch along tonight starting at 11:30. Can't wait for it. Can't wait to see Villa. Cannot wait to see Moussa Diaby. Who saw the training clips of Diaby looking absolutely fire? He looked lively. He looked on it. He just looked the player, didn't he? He looked the player who was megging Martinez. I hope that doesn't mean he does want to leave if that keeps happening in training. There was flicks, there was volleys, there was finishes, there was touches, skill. And that was all in a 4-minute 29 clip on Villa TV of Moussa Diaby training. So I can't wait to see him playing. He's going to be absolutely electric for Aston Villa. So yeah, can't wait to see Diaby. So where should we start with this one? We've got a little bit of right back chat and we've got a little bit of striker chat. Let's go striker chat first. So Unai has done a little interview in Orlando talking about Aston Villa's striker options. He mentions that he hopes that Watkins signs the deal. And then he goes on to talking about our other two strikers, Duran and Archer. Duran is currently injured. That's why he's not in America. And he says this basically: we are not speaking about the possibility of him going out on loan. Emery said ahead of the club's match with Fulham in Florida, he's a player we need because he's our second striker with Cameron Archer, and we have to use both as well, as we have to give them chances to help us. But it's not a possibility for John Duran to go on loan. It's to stay here. So that is in turn with what my thinking has been, is that Archer stays and that we're not going to sign a striker. I don't see Aston Villa signing a striker this window. I just cannot see it happening. I think Watkins is the main striker. Archer has been bagging goals in the Championship, so we know he's a finisher. He just needs to be given a chance to see what he can do in the Premier League. And Duran as well, a £20 million striker that we bought last January, a player who I think it's very unfair to give a full assessment on because we just haven't seen enough of him. We haven't seen him get starts. We haven't seen him get a 45-minute era. It's been literally bit part pieces with Duran. So I think we've just got to see more from Duran. And it does look like that is going to be our forward three going into this season. But I do think we are in the market for another winger / support striker / shadow striker / that vibe, you know? So false nine type of player. Ferran Torres. We know Diaby likes to come inside, so he can play a little bit more central. So we've got options in that sense, is what I think we're going to maybe bringing in as well. So if a Ferran Torres comes in on loan, he can play as like a false nine, which gives us different options. And our forward line now does look a little bit more tastier with a Diaby, with a Bailey, with a Watkins. So with an added player coming in as well, that's where I see us improving. But it's slightly annoying that Duran has got this little knock because it would have been important to see him in pre-season. So being as Archer's still in America, I want to see more from Archer, and I want to see more minutes. I want to see him getting involved a little bit more. So that's where I am with the striker situation as well. Then, so let's talk right back. We've got a link. We've got a rumor. And it's coming out of the media in and around La Liga, and that's Aston Villa in talks with Levante to take over the services of right back Marc Pubill. So, got to admit, I have not really seen much of this kid. He's currently playing in La Liga 2, so my footballing eyes do not venture into La Liga 2. But we'll have a little look at his stats. We'll have a little look at what he's about. But it's very, very vague, the info that I haven't been able to find any sort of like articles about his playing style or anybody talking about how he plays. So I think this is, I'm not going to say one for the future, but I think it's one that we could potentially get excited about, because I know a lot of us wanted us to find these little rough diamonds, and then we want them to come to Villa and they sort of get the Unai polishing and then they turn into a star. I think it's important that we do start to see those type of signings coming into Villa, because it's okay signing first team players. It's okay signing players that walk into the team. But like what I've said numerous times on the channel, is that I want this window and I want the preparation to be about the next window and the window after that, and the vision of the recruitment to be really, really solid. So if a Marc Pubill may be ready for a season ahead, like for next season or season ahead of that, he's only 20 years of age, then the recruitment is working well, isn't it? Because we're not just trying to find players that are going to play now. We're finding players that are going to be ready for a year or 2 years in advance, which means that when we come to that window, we're not scrambling to try and find a right back. So I think that's where I am with sort of like this type of signing. It feels a little bit Brighton-esque, which is not a bad thing. So, so I think he's probably still got a lot more to develop, a lot more to give. So his stats are as follows. He's 20 years of age, playing in La Liga 2, and his heat map, you can see that he is a right back. He played 24 games. He started 18. He averages 63 per 90. Let's have a look at some of his other stats. And so he's averaging 48 touches per game. He's making 77 accurate passes per game. He's got 81% accuracy in his own half, 67 in the opposition half, which is not too great, to be fair. He's got 7 clean sheets, 1.6 tackles per game, which is quite high. And he's got 1.3 clearances per game. He's dribbled past 0.9 per game as well. Successful dribbles, pretty low. They're not so great. But his total duels, 55%, that's okay. Here's what a kind of a really good stat he's got here, is that 75% of his aerial duels he's winning. So he's very, very strong in the air. So that's decent. If we have a look at his transfer market value, £1 million. So, I mean, it would be a savvy buy, I think, if Unai is giving the green light to this, and if Unai thinks it's going to work, then I am all for it. And who am I to say no to this transfer when King Unai is looking at him? So it's an interesting one. It's nice to get a right back link. We may start to see some more right back links come around, and now we've got one, it might sort of start ramping up a little bit. But yeah, cheers everyone for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this content. Come back at 11:30 tonight and we will be doing our watch along for Fulham v Aston Villa. Up the Villa.